basketball fans, welcome to the Vancouver Island University Gymnasium, and a big hello to folks watching at home on YouTube for this afternoon's PACWEST basketball matchup featuring the visiting Columbia Bible College Bearcats from Abbotsford and your VIU Mariners. The VIU Mariners acknowledge that we are competing, practicing, and learning on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, the lands of the Snuneymuxw First Nation, Tla'amin First Nation, and the Cowichan and Snohomish First Nation. We walk these paths together. Fans, at this time, I'd like you to please rise if you are able and remove your headgear for our national anthem, O Canada. Thank you very much, everyone. And now, let's meet the starting lineups for both teams, leading with the visiting CBC Bearcats. At guard, out of Clarkston, Washington, number 3, AJ Samoa. Fifth-year guard from Abbotsford, number 6, Julie Dewitt. At guard, also from Abbotsford, number 7, Kendall Dewitt. Fifth-year forward from Langley, number 8, Caitlin Millett. And fifth-year guard from Okinawa, Japan, number 23, Nagari Tamita. The Bearcats coached by Taylor Fight. The CBC Bearcats. And now, the starting lineup for your VIU Mariners. Fourth-year guard at Bucko, number 4, Sammy Shields. Fifth-year guard from Langley, number 6, Mackenzie Middleback Cox. First-year guard from the Mean Streets of Abbotsford, number 10, Asia Kumar. Fourth-year guard from the RFD, number 13, Key Hallway. And third-year guard from Lake Connor, Washington, number 15, Sarah Cook. And the rest of your VIU Mariners. There's a coach by Tony Rice.
Riding the wave of 6 straight wins, the VIU Mariners look to complete the weekend sweep against the CBC Bearcats, the same team they defeated in the conference title game just under a year ago. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Caleb Green. Key Holweg in the circle for the Mariners, getting ready for the opening tip against CBC's Caitlin Millett. Tip goes back to Tamita, and we are underway from Nanaimo. AJ Sabota up top, looking to feed it underneath Caitlin Millett. Double team, puts it up and over. Shields gets the rebound, and the Mariners get their first possession. Here's Sarah Cook. Gets it to Asia Kumar, the Abbotsford native, to the inside for Holweg. Far corner, Cox coming down the baseline, out of bounds, and back to CBC. Ball went a good deal out of bounds. Tamita will inbound it. Cox watching her. Sabota off the feed from Julie Dueck as it goes out of bounds. Tamita gets it back, puts it up. Misses, rebound Cox. Both teams still looking to get on the scoreboard. And Asia Kumar is fouled. Asia Kumar hits her first free throw. She was teammates with Kendall Dueck during her senior year at Yale Secondary. Here's Sabota. Up top, underneath for Tamita, right back at ya, and one!
The line shooting one.
Three-point play for Tamita, and the Bearcats have their first lead. Tipped out of bounds, I believe, by Caitlin Millette. Shields on the inbound to Cox, the rotation to Kumar. Taken away! Cook tried to get to it. Instead, it's Kendall Dueck weaving through the defense and laying it in. Holweg trying to put it up. And she's heading to the line.
Blocking foul coming Kendall Dueck, the Bearcats, second personal, second team foul. Number one line, checking in for the Bearcats. He won't wait to line, shooting two.
Strong start for the Bearcats. Shades of what they did on October 25th during a victory against VIU. You see that small ball lineup coming out again. That's something that Taylor Claggett has preached all season long, having versatility in the backcourt. Here's Julie Dueck, and off to Tamita. Nearly lost it. She's double teamed, gets it to Dueck in front of the scores table. Here's Julie, looking for Sabota. AJ Sabota, fed back inside. Shot clock running down, kicked out from the corner, Sabota! Here's Kumar. Kumar on the far wing to Shields into the near corner. Back to Cox. From the corner, Cook for three off the rim. Shields trying to get the rebound, instead it's Sabota. Tamita tried to get an and one. She'll just have to settle for a regular foul.
Substitution, Emily Smart checking into the game. Guarding Tamita to the line, shooting two.
Looked like it was going to be a foul for a second. Bearcats trying to get another and one. Mariners already getting up there in fouls. Here's Sabota. Lots of room for Huang. Bearcats trying to move, but a travel called, and the Mariners get it back.
Mariners basketball. Allison Bentley in for VIU. 7:30 remaining, first quarter.
Here's Shields. Rotation to Bentley in the far corner. Bentley lets it fly and hits Allison Bentley.
Allison Bentley.
Here come the Bearcats again. Sabota with the answer. Sprott can't quite hold on to it. Holweg there to save the day. Holweg gonna do it herself. Tries to go off the glass. Rebound by Huang back to Tamita. Ahead now for Sabota. AJ Sabota couldn't get it. Rebound Shields. Holweg with it again. Tried to keep it in bounds. Just touched the inbounds line.
Simpson checking the game for the Mariners. 6:40 first quarter.
Here comes Sabota. Tamita with it again. Over to Huang. Back inside for Millette. Wide open Sabota from the near corner. Air ball. Second chance. Trying to get to it. No good, and the Mariners regain it. Janae Rhodes coming in for CBC. Annabelle Neufeld will inbound it to Shields. Here they come through center. Here's Bentley. Over to Shields. Pumps on the pass. Comes back to Bentley. Into the mid-range. Bentley out of bounds. Negated by a CBC foul. This time, Caitlin Millette.
Bearcat substitution, number 9, Jalen Wynn, checking in. 6:11 remaining, first quarter.
Shields looking for the inbound. Gets it to Simpson. The air ball and the second chance from Neufeld. Here's Huang. Up top to Tamita. To guard Tamita. Another travel against Tamita, and the Mariners will regain it.
Mariners basketball.
Here comes Shields. Fed inside to Simpson, and the nice cut by Neufeld as she loses it. Mariners saying they have it, and they do. Sprott gets it to Shields. Shields kicks it back out. Sprott for three. No good. Rebound taken back by Huyn. Huyn puts on the brakes. Gets it to Tamita in the near corner. Here's Rhodes trying to back down Simpson. Kicks it all the way out into the CBC bench for their head coach, Taylor Claggett. Can't really blame them with how much Claggett's meant to this program over the past few years. And the Mariners have their first lead in a good bit. Tamita looking to erase it. Here comes Hwang, right down Broadway. Tamita kicks it back out. Janae Rhodes! Here's Neufeld, immediately off the catch, Annabelle Neufeld! Rhodes from the near corner. Back to Sabota, fed back inside. Here's Haewon Hwang off the glass, and we're tied. Shields pumps on the pass, trying to do it herself. Tamita gets the rebound. Tamita full head of steam. An impressive solo effort. Unfortunately, she comes up empty-handed. Here comes Jayla Huynh with the mid-range. Off back iron. Kept in bounds by Shields. And then nearly pushed out of bounds. It remains VIU ball.
First personal. Julie Dewitt and David Millett checking into the Bearcats.
Mariners have bonus to work with for the next 4 minutes and change. Asia Kumar preparing to check in. Sammy Shields heading to the line. The Port Coquitlam native, one of the only players in the PACWEST with prior NCAA experience. Spent 2 years at the University of Calgary, 2 years before that at San Jose State. Here's Sabota. Bentley watching her. She finds Julie Dewitt. Fed back inside. Comes back out to Dewitt with the mid-range. Rolls off the rim. Swatted out of bounds by Holweg. Here's Dewitt up top. Comes back to Jayla Huynh. Taken away by Asia Kumar. Here come the Mariners again. Sprott over to Kumar, the two rookies. Back to Sprott. Back inside, it's Holweg with the mid-range. Here's Tamita over to Huynh. Fed back inside, Caitlin Millett. Wide open, Sabota for three, put it too high. It goes out of bounds and back to VIU.
Jazzy Ashton checking in for the Bearcats. Sarah Cook for the Mariners. 3:16 remaining first quarter.
Here's Sprott. And then Sprott trying to find room. She finds Cook. Bentley from out of the far corner off the rim. Cook with the offensive board, and the jumper nearly goes. Neufeld still fighting for it. A crazy sequence. Here comes Bentley looking for redemption, and she's rejected by Millett. And Tamita gets tripped up by Bentley.
Allison Bentley for the Mariners. First personal, 4-2-5.
Now the Mariners are getting up there in fouls. We have several members of the late 90s Malaspina Mariners teams. Several members from the 98 and 99 seasons in attendance tonight. Glad to have them here. Here's Tamita with the mid-range. Off back iron, rebound Cook. Bounce pass to Cook. Pumps on Tamita. Here's Holweg. Escapes to the perimeter. Gets it back out to Shields. Sprott. Back up top to Holweg. Shot clock running down. The rotation to Bentley out of the corner. Side steps. Mariners looking for answers. Whole leg! Couldn't get it. Second chance by Cook. Trying to draw the foul, and she does. It might have taken a bit, but the Mariners will finally get a chance to get some points on that possession.
Sarah Cook's the line, shooting 2.
First free throw pinballs in for the LaConner Washington native. As does the second. Long pass ahead to Jazzy Ashton. Here comes Tamita again. Off the handoff to Sabota. She's been on fire so far as that goes off Iron. Shields gets the rebound. Wide open underneath Sarah Cook with the long pass. Touchdown VIU. Timeout CBC. What a start for the Mariners.
Basketball fans, thank you very much for joining us at the VIU Gym, PACWEST Basketball, and we thank you for your support of the student athletes on both teams. Kicking off this semester, which is going to be an incredible semester of basketball and volleyball here at VIU. Reminder, our volleyball teams are back on home court next weekend as we host the Capilano University Blues. Game times Friday at 6 and 8 p.m. and Saturday at 1 and 3. Vancouver University is also the proud host of the 2026 CCAA Men's Basketball National Championships. Check out the top 8 teams from across Canada, including our own VIU Mariners, as they face off for national gold right here at the VIU Gym. Tournament takes place March 18th to 21st, and tournament passes are on sale now at showpass.com. That's the 2026 CCAA Men's Basketball National Championships right here at VIU.
Coming out of the timeout, here's Tamita. $1:41 to go in the first quarter. Tamita, and it's taken away again! Sarah Cook with another steal, and Sammy Shields trying to get the finish. Huang just able to keep it in bounds as it's poked out. It remains Bearcat ball. Very wise play by Huang. Here's Tamita again. Over to Sabota, back to Tamita. Sabota with it again on the near wing. Back up top to Tamita. Sabota again, works her way to the near corner. Side steps, back up top to Tamita. Shot clock at 6. Bearcats got to do something. They tried to feed it inside to Caitlin Millette. And that's going to draw a foul. Caitlin Millette, what a journey she has had on her way to CBC. She made her season debut for the Bearcats last night in a loss to VIU. She spent a majority of her eligibility with the Capilano Blues sometime before that, still in Abbotsford with the UFV Cascades in Canada West. Here's Sprott. Under a minute to go in the first. Here's Cook. Simpson up top. Kaya Simpson, double teamed. Neufeld trying to get to it. And there's another foul.
Foul play, first personal. Kaya Simpson to the line.
Kaya Simpson. 1 for 2 from the line. Mariners have been above average at the charity stripe. They shoot a combined 71.1% on their free throws. Here's Tamita. With the handoff to Huang, looked like it needed a bit of convincing, and it's taken away again. Annabelle Neufeld with Sammy Shields all alone. Here's Huang. Bearcats trying to end the quarter on a high note. Kicked all the way out to the corner. That one spat out. Mariners won't have much time. Here's Neufeld. Over to Sprott. 2 seconds, 1 second. Simpson! Just short. But for the Mariners, a 9-point lead is still plenty.
Exciting first quarter of action here at the VIU gym. VIU 25, CBC 16. Basketball fans, once again, we thank you.
VIU 25, CBC 16, going into the second quarter. You're watching VIU Mariners basketball on PACWEST TV.
Completely devoid of lineups at the moment. Grab yourself some snacks and beverage and get ready for the second quarter. Speaking of snacks, we thank you to our friends from Country Club Dairy Queen, proud supporter of the VIU Mariners and sponsors of our Man of the Game and Player of the Game Awards. Grab a snack before the game and a treat afterwards from our friends at Country Club Dairy Queen.
Annabelle Neufeld will begin the second quarter with an inbound to Shields. She gets the pass back, feeds it inside to Simpson. Simpson with the spin move, double teamed! Tried to get it behind the back, but she's heading back to the line. Or is she? No, she is not. Angel Anya coming back in for the Bearcats in place of Caitlin Millette. Here's Neufeld, over to Shields. Back up top for Cook. Here's Shields, off the catch! Like it's nothing, Sammy Shields! 10 points already for the Poco native. Here's Huynh. Gets it to Sabota. With the shot clock running down. Enya up top. Off the handoff. Kendall Dueck into the mid-range. The shot clock went off. Not like it would have mattered. Now a 12-point lead for the Mariners over their Abbotsford adversaries. Here's Neufeld on the feed to Simpson. Tried to feed it back inside to Neufeld. She couldn't get there fast enough, and the Mariners turn it over. Samita off the feed to Huynh. Sabota with it again. Given back to Huynh. Sabota back up top. Here's Tamita at the elbow. To guard Tamita with the sidestep and the air ball as it goes out of bounds. Very uncharacteristic last few games for the Bearcats in terms of shooting. Coming into Friday's matchup, they led the conference in three-point percentage. Here's Sammy Shields with another mid-range. Kendall Dueck, quadruple teamed. Taken away on the mad scramble. It's between the legs of Shields. Who's got it? Here's Enya. Sabota up top. And another violation called. What is happening here? Bearcats still looking for their first points of the quarter. Nearly had him there. Sammy Shields with the rebound. Shields puts on the brakes, gets it up top to Neufeld. Neufeld fed back underneath to Sammy Shields off the window. Jayla Huynh. And the mid-range. Here's Shields with it again. Over to Neufeld. Asia Kumar. Fed back to Holway. Kumar with it again. Off back iron. Rebound by Julie Dueck. Underneath it's Angel Enya. Walks the tightrope. But crossed out of bounds. Here's Sprott. Over to Neufeld, back to Sprott, plenty of room. Bentley from out of the near corner. Here's Holweg, another mid-range. The Mariners have loved their mid-ranges all season long. Here's Enya, trying to get inside the paint. And another foul. Foul play, first personal. Taylor Millette checking into the game for CBC. Tony Bryce animated on the VIU bench. And Tamita took too long with the inbound.
Kendall doing the game for CBC.
Here's Sprott. Over to Neufeld, back to Sprott. Flowing all the way to Kumar. Coming out of the far corner. Here's Sprott with it again. Bentley out of the near corner. Off the rim. Rebound taken back by Kalen Dieleman. Kendall Dueck. He's Dieleman with it again over to Tamita. Nice rotation into the corner as it's thrown out of bounds. Here's Bentley. Wide open. Here's Kumar from the far corner. Air ball. Rebound Tamita. Julie Dueck. Lots of room to operate. Kicks it back. Dieleman weighing her options. Gets it to Tamita. Plenty of room in the near corner. She likes to go into the mid-range. Walks the tightrope as it's tipped out of bounds. Smart play by Tamita to keep possession for CBC. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Mariners lead the Bearcats 34-18. Tamita trying to put it a little bit closer, and she does. 14-point lead now. Here's Holway. Over to Sprott. Neufeld with it again. Tried to get it off the glass. She gets her own rebound and a foul! Tony Bryce elects to call time.
Take this opportunity to thank our friends from Andre's Electronics Experts here in town. Generous sponsors of a 70-inch television we'll be giving away to a lucky VIU student. How lucky you have to be? Well, it's pretty easy. Just come to any of our soccer, volleyball, or basketball home games to get a ticket into the draw. And we'll be making that television prize draw on February 20th as we take on the Douglas College Royals in basketball action. And students must be in attendance to win. Thank you again to our friends at Andre's Electronics Experts.
Here's Sarah Cook. Off the catch and off the rim. Rebound by Kendall. Here's Tamita. Through the entire VIU student body and one.
Sammy Shields checking back into the game. On the play, timeout call with CBC Bearcats. Reminder all fans, all of the VIU Mariners home and away games are streamed live on YouTube. Thanks for sportscanada.tv. For home games, just search up VIU Mariners Athletics on YouTube. And for road games, just search up the YouTube pages for the respective schools. For all of our schedules, check out GoMariners.ca.
Kagari to meet at the line for CBC. Trying to pull 3 out of 2, and she does. Back to an 11-point lead for VIU. Basket here would be crucial. Holweg looking for someone, she finds Bentley. Bentley. Lots of room inside the paint. Shot clock running down. Holweg, Bentley's got to put it up! Off the iron. Mariners tried to get their own rebound. Instead, it's Julie Dueck attempting to cut the lead even closer. Taken away by Sammy Shields as she draws the foul just coming across the timeline. Sarah Cook. Oh for 2 from the line. Not the start to possession that the Mariners would have liked. Emily Sprott preparing for the inbound. AJ Sabota will watch her. Sprott finds Shields. She's already got 14 points today. Here's Simpson on the inside. Trying to feed underneath to Bentley. Tamita dives on it. Just able to get it out to avoid the jump ball. Julie Dueck with it again. Here's Sabota. Into the corner for Rhodes. Back to Sabota. Side steps off the screen from Rhodes. Coming out of the corner, here's Tamita with a high arcing shot that comes up short. Julie Dueck trying to get the second chance, and she's denied. Here's Bentley. Trying to go upstairs. Emily Sprott didn't see it. Tamita. Here's Julie Dueck. Back to Tamita. Crossover. Works her way to the near side. Off the handoff to Sabota, and it's tipped and taken away by Sprott. Emily Sprott trying to feed it underneath, and it's taken back again by Sabota. Or rather by Dieleman, and it's a jump ball. Jayla Huynh will inbound it for CBC. With the Bearcats down 11. Just over 3.5 to go in the second. Here's Julie Dueck. Up top for Dieleman. Given back to Sabota. Fed back inside. Coming in underneath is Julie Dueck, and it's back within single digits. Sarah Cook. Over to Simpson again. Mariners need a bucket. They need it badly. But a pair of free throws is good compensation. Bearcats have no timeouts left this half. VIU has one. Kaya Simpson hits the first free throw. And the second. Back to an 11-point lead. Here's Dieleman. Tipped and taken away by Sarah Cook. And taken right back by Huynh. Crazy defense going on, Nanaimo. Off the catch! And the air ball looks like it went in from my angle. Here's Sprott. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Here's Simpson with the three. And the air ball. Sprott looking for redemption. Walks the baseline. Tried to feed it to Simpson, and it's taken away by Sabota. Barely kept inbounds by Huynh, but she pays the price. Here's Huynh again. Off like a jet sweep to Sabota. Tipped again. This time Dewitt corrals it. Gets it back up top to Dieleman. And the mid-range goes off the rim. Rebound by Cook. Here come the Mariners again. It's Shields. Under the 2-minute mark. Here's Sprott up top. Simpson. Off the deception. Here's Sprott again. Into the mid-range. Trying to find someone. She gets it to Simpson. Looked like it went in. Cook trying to go underneath. And she draws the foul.
Second personal. Tina checking in.
Mariners with the gift of bonus. That second free throw needed a little convincing. Here's Dewitt, pumps on the three, gets it to Sabota. Kick back out into the corner for Tamita. Back up top for Dewitt. And another travel called. At another inopportune time for CBC. Sarah Cook will inbound it. She finds Shields. 14 points today for the former Calgary Dino. Here's Simpson. Over to Sprott, straight away, three! Swirls the iron. Mariners need a made basket on their next possession, and they need it badly. Sabota! And it pinballs in! VIU can't pull any punches. No lead is too large against this team. Simpson, and there's the made basket, Kaya Simpson. Mariners back up by 13. Tony Bryce wants a foul, and the immediate response from Caitlin Dieleman. Shot clock is dark. Sammy Shields just across the timeline. Sprott in motion. So too is Simpson. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Shields off the side of the backboard. Ten-point lead for VIU at the half.
At the end of the first half of play, the Mariners on the Bearcats 40-30. Basketball fans, got to ask folks when they can. Stay overseas, we have a special presentation.
Don't go anywhere during the half. We have a special video presentation for some of our alumni. Here You're watching VIU Mariners basketball on PACWEST TV.
The late 1990s saw a period of excellence in Mariners women's basketball. The team earned conference bronze in 1996, silver in 1999, and gold in 1998, in addition to 7 conference all-star awards. That conference gold medal team in 1998 advanced to the CCAA National Championships at Seneca College in Toronto, proceeded to defeat Greg McEwen 74-57, Seneca College 57-29, and in the championship final, defeated Mount Royal 66-41 to claim the Mariners' first national title in women's basketball. Also of note, this was only the second national title a BC team had won in women's collegiate basketball, and it was the last until Tony Bryce's team won in 2023. Now we list here some of the folks who are joining us today. I apologize if I get any names wrong or if I'm missing anyone, but if I call your name up, please feel free to wave to the crowd. I'd like to welcome Kate McLeod, Lori Bastian, JB Dominia, Mindy Gamble, Jamie McCowan, Shiloh Miller, Amanda Morton, Susan Schultz, Raina Lightly, Angie Dean, Paula Precision, and our school's first ever conference women's basketball player of the year, a 3-time conference all-star, CCAA All-Canadian and National Player of the Year, Mary Lou Leonin. We'd also like to welcome the head coach of the team from 94 to 98, leading the team through that period of success, and here alongside his wife. Please welcome Tom and Sherry Elwood. Once again, your contributions to the Mariners basketball program for its incredible successful years in the 90s and beyond, and for joining us to support the program today. Thank you so much for being here. Please, everyone, a big round of applause to our Mariners basketball alumni joining us today. Thank you for your support. minutes to go until we tip off for the second half of this afternoon's basketball action between the Columbia Bible College Bearcats and the VIU Mariners. A big welcome to fans, and thank you so much for joining us at the VIU gym in support of the athletes on both teams. We also want to send a huge welcome to North Island Secondary Storm for joining us yesterday and today. Shout out to the folks of North Island and appreciate your support of basketball. All the best on your basketball seasons as well. We also want to give a big Mariner welcome to folks of Special Olympics BC Basketball. A number of teams joining us here today. So good to see you. Welcome to the Diamond. We've got a wonderful time and we've got a great time in the tournament as well. And thanks for adding Mariners basketball onto your itineraries as well. I get a big welcome to our friends from Special Olympics BC Basketball for teams around BC.
Sarah Cook with the inbound to get the second half started. Here's Holweg. Trying to get it back underneath. Sammy Shields! Hot start to the half for the Mariners. Here's Tamita. Lots of room on the near wing. Trying to get into the mid-range and it's taken away by Holweg. Here's Cox on the far corner. Gets it up top to Holweg. Cook with the shot clock running down. Sarah Cook puts it up. Didn't have enough power behind it. Here come the Bearcats again. Here's Julie Dueck up top for Tamita. Sends Sabota in motion. Kagari Tamita had it spat out. Rebound Holweg. Cox puts on the brakes as she crosses the timeline. Cook going in motion, but Sabota has her in a straitjacket. Here's Holweg. Over to Shields again. Gets it to Holweg. Plenty of room, and she got it! Key Holweg! Here's Janae Rhodes. Julie Dueck Shields the quick switch. In motion now, it's Sabota. Double teamed, and Sabota doesn't care! Wide open. On the near corner is Asia Kumar, who lays it in. Here's Sabota. Fed inside to Tamita. Kagari Tamita with a spin move. Tried to go up and over. Mariners said nuh-uh. Here's Cox. Over to Kumar. Holweg with it again. Holweg with the immediate shot in the bank. Here's Julie Dueck. Double teamed, but she doesn't care. And back and forth they go. Long pass, Holweg with it again. Here comes AJ Sabota, trying to get the counter, but she draws a foul.
Kayla Malone checking in for CBC. Allison checking in for the Mariners.
Allison Bentley heading back on the bench. Raja Kumar to the bench. Allison Bentley in the game now for VIU. AJ Sabota at the line. She's been her first 2 seasons in the NWAC at Spokane Falls Community College. Former Oma, former Mariner, Caleb Johnson is Sarah Cook. It's a straightaway 3. Millette all the way out to Sabota, straight away. Swirls the iron, fighting for the tip is Shields. Instead, it's Bentley who comes out with it. Shields gets it into the near corner for Cook. Sarah Cook weaving through the defense, trying to put it up, gets her own rebound. Couldn't get the second chance, but she draws another foul.
Sarah Cook to the line, shoot 2.
Sarah Cook, a former teammate of Kagard Tamita at Skagit Valley Community College. She was a 2-sport athlete with the Cardinals, decorated in both basketball and volleyball. Surprising, there aren't many 2-sport athletes at VIU, if any at all. Here's Dielman. Tipped it. Shields tried to get to it, but it went out of bounds. "20-point lead for VIU. Kendall Dueck over to Sabota. Fed back inside, Caitlin Millette putting it up. She draws the foul despite no make. And the veteran is heading to the line. 18-point lead for VIU. 55-37. Cox hand in hand with Neufeld as she crosses the line. Here's Neufeld with it. Simpson setting the screen. Here's Bentley. And an impressive steal by Kendall Dueck. It won't go without a foul, but a very good play from Kendall Dueck to get the steal without even seeing the ball. Allison Bentley walks the tightrope, gets it underneath to Simpson. Didn't have enough power as it rolls out of bounds. Arrow over 5.5 to go in the third. Mariners with a sizable lead. Here comes Sabota. Over to Dielman. Tamita up top. Goes past her. And in a fast break, who else? Sammy Shields curls at the line. And it taken away again by Tamita. She had a wide open layup. Kayla Millette loses it. And the Mariners get it back off the CBC turnover. So it all works out anyway. Bearcats regain possession. Here's Tamita. On the far wing, Dielman. Kendall Dueck into mid-range, had it tipped. Dielman still comes away with it, kicks it back out to Sabota. Off the iron, but play was whistled dead long before then. Tamita on the inbound to Sabota. Neufeld watching Kendall Dueck. And CBC trying to slow the game down again. Bearcats one away from bonus. Here's Sabota. Kendall with it on the near wing. Back to Sabota in the corner. Kendall with it again. Shot clock running down. Here comes Caitlin Millette with a spin move past Simpson, but she comes up empty-handed. Bentley gets the rebound. Cox has to race for it. Couldn't keep it in bounds. Bearcats moving again, down by 18. Off the hands of Tamita, and the Mariners take over. Here comes Cox. Simpson off the fingertips of Cox again. Here comes Kendall Dueck. And Simpson with the steal from behind. Simpson gets it back to Cox. Over to Bentley again. Bentley on the cut, and she draws the foul. First trip to the charity stripe for the Cochrane native. Taylor Claggett calls her first timeout of the second half. Converts the first free throw. She set a career high in steals per game last season. In her sophomore campaign, the lead is back to 20, and there's another injured Bearcat. It was Caitlin Millette.
Mariners up to 5 team fouls in the quarter.
And she's heading to the line after the foul from Gaia Simpson. Neufeld off the inbound to Cox. Cox again. Here's Bentley. Up top to Shields. Back to Bentley. Lots of room. Fed underneath for Holweg, who loses it. Got it stripped from behind. Here's Sabota now with the dish back to Tamita. Long pass. Caitlin Millette trying to go up and underneath, but she put it too high. Holweg gets the rebound. Now here comes Cox. Holweg with it again. Takes the three. Off back iron. Another rebound for Sabota. Here's Tamita now. With the dish underneath to Millette, and it's taken away by Bentley. Here's Cox with the spin past Sabota. Mackenzie Cox gets it to Holweg near the baseline. And another takeaway for the Bearcats. This time it's Millette. Here's Tamita. Off the catch, Sabota out of the corner, air ball. Cox with the easy rebound. Here's Neufeld. Trying to back down the CBC defense, and she does. Annabelle Neufeld. Here's Tamita from her knees, and it's taken away by Shields. Pushed out of bounds by Kendall Dewick. Her sister Julie coming in. Buck 47 to go in the third quarter. Bentley from the far corner. Here's Holweg. Holweg gonna do it herself, puts it up, has it partially blocked. Enya with the rebound. Here's Enya back up top. Here comes Hwang. Dishes it into the far corner. Kicks it back for Enya, and a travel called. Enya had an open lane. Here's Cox from the near side, back up top Holweg. Here's Sprott on the far wing with the shot clock in single digits. It comes back to Cox. Into mid-range, Mackenzie Cox draws the foul with 59.6 to go. Cox goes 2 for 2 from the line, the fifth-year guard out of Langley. Enya out of bounds. What is happening to CBC? Here's Neufeld. Over to Cox, to the near wing, Holweg in motion up top. Shot clock running down. Neufeld over to Holweg, close to the far corner, spins inside the paint, tries to go with a bank shot, and it's taken away. Here come the Bearcats. Julie Dewick gets it back up top to Enya as Bentley blows the tire, no foul coming. Hwang trying to go with the underhand, and she lays it in. Four seconds left for VIU. They got to do something Here's Cox, puts it up, has it rejected. The basket will not go. And the Mariners have 10 minutes left to preserve a 20-point lead. Don't go anywhere just yet. It's still anyone's game. You're watching VIU Mariners basketball on PACWEST TV.
Also, reminder, we also have a men's matchup coming up at 3 p.m. between the Bearcats and Mariners. Thanks for sticking around for that. Thanks for a lot. We appreciate that. The boss said I had to play that song, otherwise I get fired. So I played the song and kept my job for the weekend. Thank you, boss.
Ten minutes to tell the tale. Bearcats down by 20, just a quarter left to play. Here's Tamita. Shields tried to get the tip with the quick switch. Duick bobbles it, still able to hold on to it, kicks it back out. Here's Jazzy Ashton trying to get the three, and she banks it in. Long pass underneath the whole leg in the counterattack. Mariners have relied on the fast break a lot more lately. Or as Tony Bryce would probably call it, cherry picking. Here's Tamita as the shot clock expired. Mariners get the ball back. Up top, it's Holweg. Faking the handoff to Shields. Here's Cook, back to Holweg. Holweg with the mid-range, comes up short. But she draws the foul.
Pennsylvania second in the game for the Bearcats.
Holweg at the line for VIU. Goes 1 for 2 from the line. The VIU lead continues to grow. Bentley nearly got the steal. Here's AJ Sabota. Off the handoff to Julie Duick. It comes back to Sabota on the far wing. Sent to the corner, hoisted up by Kendall. Cook pulls down the board. Here comes Shields. Sprott out of the near corner. She got it. Angel Enya dishes it. The two Duick sisters with an exchange. Here's Julie inside the paint. As the shot clock expires, it doesn't go. Holweg gets the rebound. Shields, another fast break. Sarah Cook again with the finish and the foul! Another timeout called by Taylor Claggett. Out-of-town scoreboard in the world of women's basketball. Only one other game going on. Camosun on their way to a victory over the Okanagan Coyotes. Langara and Douglas set to go in 2.5 hours. Sarah Cook pulls a rabbit out of her hat, and the lead continues to grow for the Mariners. Here's Sabota. Dealeman with it now. Back to Sabota. Julie Duick waiting in the near corner. Sabota still with it. Kicks it back. Duick, corner three, air ball, and pushing over Sarah Cook was Angel Enya as it goes out of bounds. That scramble on the CBC end. Jump ball coming. Mariners with a 27-point lead with just over 7 minutes to go. Here's Bentley. Sprott in motion. From the corner. Spat out by the rim. Rebound Enya. Taken away by Cook, but it goes out of bounds. Here's Dealman, bobbles it. Harassed by Cook, it comes back out to Sabota near the timeline. Into the mid-range, AJ Sabota puts it up. Couldn't get to fall. Fighting for the tip is Mackenzie Cox. The entire team got a hand on that rebound. Here's Sprott. Over to Holweg. Sprott still in motion. Cook wide open on the near corner, but it's Emily Sprott with the finish. Bearcats starting to panic. Here's Angel Enya from distance. Dealeman with it now. Sabota back over to Enya. Shot clock running down, and Enya didn't know. Enya didn't know that the shot clock had expired, and the Mariners take it back. Shades of J.R. Smith in 2018. Here's Sprott. Kicks it back out. Holweg thinks about a three, gets into the mid-range, but she travels on her way, and the Bearcats take it right back. Ashton over to Sabota, into the corner. Kaylin Dealeman off the rim. Rebound by Holweg. Dish to Kumar, the Abbotsford native. Kick back out. Here's Sprott back up top. Cox, lots of room. Cook works her way into the far corner. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Cox in the far corner now. Sarah Cook tries to get the mid-range, but it comes up short. Here come the Bearcats again. Here's Jazzy Ashton. Kumar watching her. Off the handoff, it's Enya. Sabota coming out of the corner. Here's Dealeman with the three and the air ball. And the turnover. Here's Neufeld. Katie Harding back in for VIU, and it's Kumar off back iron. Enya gets the board. Julie Duick with it now. Here's Dealeman. Had it tipped by Neufeld. Enya saves it from being an over and back. Nice moves from Julie Duick, but she couldn't get the finish. As she swats it out of bounds as Hardig was trying to get the rebound. Here's Julie Dueck, lots of room, triple team, puts it up and over. Hardig trying to get the rebound. Diving for it is Cox, and it's a jump ball.
Jump ball.
Dealeman will inbound it. Just over 4 minutes to go. Here's Dealeman. Feeds it to Duick. Tipped by Neufeld. She's able to keep it in bounds. So too is Cox as she falls over. Mariners do not have a foul this quarter. Here's Sprott. Over to Neufeld. Back up top. Hardig with the mid-range. The bench is going nuts. They thought it was going in. Here's Ashton. Back to Enya. Over to Huynh. Coming out of the corner now, it's Wang. Here's Dealeman from the near corner. That's a big basket for CBC. Here's Hardig. Over to Neufeld. Annabelle Neufeld kicks it out. Cox with the shot clock running down. Mackenzie Cox. at the wrong side of the rim, but she draws the foul. With 3:15 to go, Cox is going back to the charity stripe. First one goes off back iron. The second one does not. Bearcats have to hurry. Nice cut underneath to Ashton, and she gets leveled. Jazzy Ashton the line for CBC. She was one of the first recruits Taylor Clegg had brought in when she was hired in 2023. And that was the first pebble in the pond for CBC. They pulled off one of the most remarkable turnarounds in CCAA history, going from a winless season to national champions in just 2 years. Here comes Swang. Fed it underneath, Angel Enya. Couldn't get it, rebound Kumar. Cox taking her sweet time. Here's Neufeld. Hardig inside. Dueling Enya for it. Katie Hardig puts it up, but she draws the foul! Katie Hardig, she's been one of the more popular players this season. As you hear the VIU bench every time the ball's in her hands, you know something's about to happen as she hits her first. Very strong interior player. She played both basketball and rugby at Isfeld. For some of you older Mariners fans, think of a comparison, think of Kayla Gregory. As Sprott tried to get the mid-range, it goes back to CBC. Thielman. As it comes back to Huen. Here's Thielman with it again. 2-minute warning. Here's Angel Enya, full head of steam. She's able to get her own rebound and goes behind the back. Angel Enya with a little bit of redemption. Here's Bentley with the cuts. Couldn't get the basket, but she's heading to the line. For 2 from the line is Bentley. Enya gets the rebound. De La Huen moving now. Comes back out to Thielman. Over to Enya. Here's Jazzy Ashton with the step back 3 and the air ball. The Bearcats led the PACWEST in 3-point percentage just a week ago. But VIU's defense has been giving them fits all weekend long. Here's Hardig, looking for the exclamation point. It's Bentley. Bentley, back over to Kumar. Sprott with it again. Feeds it inside. Harding with the shot clock running down. Out to the corner. And it's a shot clock violation against VIU. Here's Ashton, weighs her options, gets it to Enya with the mid-range, goes off the glass. Sprott gets the rebound. Sprott weaving, here's Kumar. Bentley trying to get it back inside to Kumar. Couldn't get the finish, nor could she get the rebound. And with 25.3 to go, the Bearcats are going to get one last kick at the can. Here's Swin. Nice cut underneath to Dieleman. Dieleman heading to the line. As she hits the first free throw. Spent her high school days at Abbotsford Christian. She was named an EVAA All-Star in her last season with the Knights. Cox across the timeline. And the VIU Mariners are too young to die. And they keep their spot atop the PACWEST. And they take 3 out of 4 against the defending national champions. VIU riding the momentum of a 10-point swing in the third quarter, 9-point swing in the first. And that was all it took. CBC able to stay with them in the second and fourth quarters. But those first and third was their undoing. The Mariners have a bye week next week, then they're heading back on the road to take on Langara Falcons. CBC, they'll have no such break, and they face a big test ahead of them as they head up to New Westminster to take on the Douglas Royals. Until next time, on behalf of Matt Carter, Joel Wiersma, Danielle Hyde, Jamie McFarland, everyone who makes it happen here at VIU, I'm Caleb Green saying so long, and we'll see you next time.